Okay, my fellow flames, this is going to be my Wuthering Waves 3.1 story review. And I'd just like to start off the video by saying this. I don't think there's a story in Wuthering Waves that has hit me so goddamn hard emotionally than Wuthering Waves 3.1 story. I can count from going through the footage and releasing the video. I cried 3 or maybe at a push 4 times within this story. This story was filled with action, incredible action. This story was filled with emotional turmoil and emotional strain and emotional conflict. This story touches on many different messages and many different tones that we all know and love. We have seen a lot of these tones and a lot of these messages throughout our lives, playing other video games, watching movies, TV series, growing up. And we know a lot of the messages that is portrayed within this story. But the Wuthering Waves 3.1 story starts off with us meeting a few of the other characters in the new roster of 3.x. Lucilla being one of them. Lucilla is the purple-haired professor who has the big hat on that everyone's going gaga for and everyone likes. She's cool. She doesn't really have a major role in this, but she serves her purpose well for the story. There's a couple of other cameos from other roles of the other Wuthering Waves 3.x roster of the characters we saw a good few months ago, but they don't really do anything. They're just there for the sake of showing up, just to say they are in the game, they are coming, we're just showing their faces here just so you're aware of them. But then we go and actually find Imoth. Imoth is the main vocal point of this story. We meet Imoth. She's like, oh, you can see me, blah, 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 blah. And then she basically leads us outside of the classroom. We have a few conversations with Lucilla, and we follow Imoth, and we go through the city and go through Lahairoi, go through the academy, asking a few questions. What the hell's going on? Who are you? You saved me. She doesn't actually remember saving us at the start of 3.0. If you remember, we actually were saved by Imoth when going and traveling towards the Lahairoi because we got intercepted by the Threnodian. She saved us and then just flew off, and we weren't really sure why. But my God, all of the questions get answered in this story, and my God, did I feel did I feel so many emotions towards it. I'm not going to touch on too much of the plot points and the story points of the patch in case people haven't played it. It's been 2 days as of recording this. I wanted to give a few days for people to play the story and experience the story. I'm going to touch on some spoilers, but not too many. Bearing in mind I don't know. I'm just speaking about this raw and just after I've processed the absolute carnage and emotional damage I experienced. You know what? Bollocks to it. We're going to talk spoilers a little bit later on. Split decision in just mere moments. Yeah, so we actually are going to the Frostlands because we need to awaken the Exostrider. The Exostrider is a key component, a key narrative item of this story. So Imoth is like, we need to figure out what the hell's going on. We need to go to the Exostrider. We need to awaken the Exostrider because that is going to be the thing that destroys the Threnodian, or the thing that is key to destroying the Threnodian. And we know that she is the core resonator of the machine. We know she can pilot the Exostrider, though not very well, but she can still pilot the Exostrider. She's not at full strength though, because her physical body was vaporized and destroyed, though her soul, I guess is the easiest way to say it, is still around. Her soul is basically there. Her frequency is still very present, though it's faint. But we can see her because we're the main character and because we're Rover and because we can. We travel to the Frostlands, where we come into contact with Luke. And another character, is it Navara? I think her name is. She looks like a future 4-star character. She looks like a character that's going to be coming to the roster. She looks too important and is too detailed in design to just be another NPC. And I mean that. There's something mysterious going on in this scientific establishment that we go to in order to figure out what's going on with the Exostrider, what's going on with Imoth, what's going on with the Therodian, etc., etc. So Luke joins us to going to the scientific laboratory. And when we get there, we uncover all kinds of things about the retroactive rain, about other things going on in the Lahairoi region. And Luke basically does his best to assist us in figuring out what's going on. However, him and Navara clearly know each other. Obviously know each other. They're both extremely suspicious characters. I believe that Luke is a member of the Fractors. Now, this isn't confirmed, though he's up to no good. As far as I'm concerned, him and Navara seem to be trying their very best to cover up things about Rover's past, because Luke knew Rover in his past life, because Rover was there at Lahairoi at a previous moment in his incarnation cycle, and Luke knew previous Rover, and it looks like Navara did too. We come into contact with a few very substantial and heavy impactful enemies, such as the astronaut that we saw in the trailer. And the astronaut is essentially a guardian, or someone who is a guardian of the laboratory, because he was contaminated by an essence. I forgot the name of it, but basically he was contaminated by a virus that went airborne. And when he awoken from his jettison pod, he essentially shut down the entire laboratory, trapped himself inside, and he became infected. Hence why we were fighting the astronaut, because he became infected, losing his mind. But what he did was to save the rest of the region. Otherwise, the virus would have got out, and Lahairoi would have been in massive danger. So W for the huge W for that character. We then find out, spoilers by the way, that we see an explosion, and we see the moment when past Rover, or maybe it was this incarnation's Rover, we don't know, fell from the sky to Solaris 3. There's a flashback sequence where there's a space station. The space station is getting destroyed. This was also the space station that the astronaut was on. Is getting destroyed, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, what do we do? We're all gonna die!" And then this scientist stops and goes, "There's someone falling from the sky." And then we see Rover falling from deep space down to Solaris 3. And then the footage is cut off. Now, it's unclear. I think it definitely was past Rover, but then Luke deletes the files. He says, we best not let anyone else find this. He doesn't specify why. He just goes, yeah, let's delete this files. I think it's for the best. And then even where Rover and Imoth are like, why the hell is this guy trying to cover up so much? And then we question him, and he goes, "Oh, I knew you from your past life. We were friends," and convinces Rover that they were friends in the past life. Do I think that? No. Do I think they knew each other? Yes, but friends? I don't think so. And also, Luke drops the bomb of, "You're not as dark and as brooding and as lifeless and lonely as you were in your past life. You seem a lot more light and bright in this one," which goes towards a theory I had about a year ago now, where I believe eventually Rover's going to turn to the dark side. But we still don't know that to be sure. Or do we? So we continue along. Navara got injured by the astronaut, therefore Luke's like, I'm going to take her and wait for reinforcements to arrive, because he called for help. He sent out a distress beacon, and he's going to take her back to Lahairoi, the academy, when the reinforcements arrive, to get her healed up, because she got hit by the astronaut and she's very weak. So me and Imoth continue forward. This is when the story gets real. We go to what appears to be a building. We don't know what this building is. Imoth knows what this building is. We go to the building with Imoth. There's a few action points that happens. There's a mech that keeps following us around the entire region, attacking us, and Imoth keeps protecting us. and saying, go away, you're not meant to be here, so she knows who the mech is, or what the mech is. It keeps following us. We got encountered by the mech at the start of the story, we then encounter it about midway through the story, just as we get to this mysterious building in the Frostlands. When the mech's defeated and leaves, and retreats, we essentially find out, in this building, Imoth was taken in and adopted and raised as a daughter by our past self. We were essentially a father figure to Imoth, guiding her, leading her through the way. Her parents essentially died in the lament. Her parents died, she was homeless, she was wandering on her own, trying to find refuge. We found her, saved her from the elements of the Frostlands. And then we brought her to this house. This was Rover's house. The building we're in now is Rover's house from his past life. We raise her, we bring her up for months, years. It doesn't really specify how much time has passed, but it appears to be a good while. And then we figure out that we were essentially Imoth's father figure. And we find out a lot about her as a character. We find out a lot about her growing up, and we find out a lot about Rover's past. We find out Rover does indeed have an unknown homeland that is beyond Solaris 3. And he was sent to Solaris 3 in the incarnation before the one we're in now on a mission. It's never specified what the mission was. We don't know what the mission was. We still don't know what the mission was, but he was sent by his homeland to go on a mission. And he wants to go home. He's tired, he's exhausted. He's clearly suffered a lot of fatalities and losses in this incarnation period, and he's just tired. He's tired. He's a man of war, a man of combat, a man of pain, a man of loss, a man of anguish, and he wants to go home. He's like, I know I need to complete the mission, but I want to go home. I want to go home. And Imoth knows this from a very young age. And we then go to the present day, where now it's one of those things where Imoth and Rover have to go and find the Exostrider, because we find out that the Striders are capsules. The Exostrider is one of many that transports Sentinels, young baby Sentinels, unborn Sentinels, Sentinel eggs, Sentinels frequencies before they manifest, whatever it is, through time and space to get to Solaris 3 or to get to other planets in the universe to guide, protect, and watch over each region on those planets. The Exostriders are jettison pods. They're escape pods from somewhere. Transportation units to defend Sentinels before they have a chance to be born. Huge lore drop. Huge lore drop. This changes quite literally everything we know about the Sentinels. We know Dewey was created by Rover. We know Rover is now from a distant place where clearly the Sentinels were from, or born, or bred, and these mechanical devices, which are Exostriders, are sent from Rover's land across time and space to Solaris 3 and maybe other planets to deliver Sentinels to watch over the regions. That's where we're at. That's a huge lore point, because Dewey was right in us creating. We created Dewey because we, Rover, might have been, in that incarnation, might have been the one that guided the Exostriders, or those Exostriders of Dewey, of I forgot the Sentinel already from Imperator, from Renacita, in these Exostriders, transported them to Solaris and helped them manifest, to help them become what they are, to help birth them, essentially, I guess. Exostriders are like incubators. It's like an incubation machine. But anyway, so we find out a lot of this stuff about what the Exostriders are. We go to find this Exostrider because it is still key to defeating the Therodian. We find the Therodian's name is called Aleph 1. This big eye, black hole looking thing. Aleph 1 is the most powerful, as far as I'm concerned, the most powerful Threnodian we've ever seen in Wuthering Waves. It's a literal black hole that devours moons, planets, suns. This thing is so powerful that devouring entire galaxies wasn't enough to sustain its hunger. It's Galactus. It's Wuthering Waves' Galactus. It literally is Galactus. It's the devourer of worlds, the devourer of universes, of galaxies, the devourer of all things. That's what it is. That is exactly what this thing is, because it gets to a point where it's like now planets can't even sustain it. So what it does is it intercepts, it started to intercept and detect the signal, the faint signal of Exostriders and the resonance of an unborn sentinel. And it was devouring the Exostriders and the sentinel within the Exostrider to sustain it, to feast upon. And yeah, that might also be the reason why Lahai Roy doesn't have a sentinel. Because the Exostrider isn't a sentinel. It's the thing that transports the sentinels. So the reason why, theorized, this isn't confirmed, but the reason why the Exostrider we currently know in Lahai Roy is empty and doesn't have a sentinel is either one of two things. The sentinel hasn't been born yet, and it's somewhere in the region, hasn't been born yet, or it's just an empty shell and the sentinel was devoured by the Leviathan, by Alfan. This quite literally is the biggest threat we've ever encountered and ever experienced in Wuthering Waves. This makes Leviathan look like nothing. This makes the Overthrax look like nothing. And the Overthrax is said to be more powerful than Leviathan. This thing, Alfan, is devouring planets? I don't think so. What the hell? What the hell is this? This is like a whole new ball game. But anyway, so we find out all these things about the Exostriders, about Alfan, about the Therodians, Sentinels, everything. We then basically it is said that we need to again go to the Exostrider. So we go to the Exostrider, and then we are essentially told by Imoth that she needs to be the one to change the cycle, to change history. We don't know why that's the case. She gets taken by the mech that's been following us. The mech that's hunting us. She gets taken. The signal, her essence gets taken and disappears. We chase them. We're in a massive epic chase. We chase the mech down. We are now in a battle between Rover and the mech to get Imoth back. Imoth then goes within the Exostrider. She then pilots the Exostrider, but because Imoth is in a very weakened state, she can't pilot it well. Hence why earlier I said she can't pilot that thing very well at all, because she's not in physical form. She's in essence only, in frequency form only. So she's trying to pilot the Exostrider and to combat the mech, but she can't pilot it at her fullest ability because she hasn't got physical form. We then get, now this is where it gets ridiculous. We get absorbed into the heart of the Exostrider. It's like a dimension, a space between spaces. This is clearly the incubation universe where Sentinels are living. It's very similar to Jue's realm. This quite literally answers a lot of questions. Why does Jue need to go into an incubation chamber? We now know. Why has Jue got her own little universe, a pocket universe? We now know. Because we didn't see an Exostrider with Jue, so clearly the Exostrider was successful in delivering Jue to Solaris 3. We didn't see an Exostrider in Renacita, therefore the Exostrider was successful in delivering them to Renacita. But then we go to Lahai Roy and we actually get absorbed into the heart, the realm of the Exostrider, this little incubation realm, or this pocket universe. And we go for an epic battle. We play as Imoth. Epic battle between Imoth and the mech, the mysterious mech. An epic battle takes place. This is one of the best choreographed battles in Wuthering Waves. This tops... I don't know. No, this is on par with Leviathan versus all of the resonators of Renacita. Because the stakes are so high. A battle takes place. Cinematic, there's like 2 phases. There's 2 different phases. It's a 2-phase boss. Then, as this cinematic marvel, the cinematic masterpiece is taking shape, explosions are happening. You're seeing everything happen. It's a Dragon Ball Gundam fight, and I'm not even kidding you. These cutscenes are quite literally insane, and it shows a fraction of the power that Imoth possesses. And everything this mech is saying to us throughout the entire patch, the mech keeps telling what we presume to be Imoth, go home. Why are you still here? Go home. You need to go home. That's the only thing it says. We don't know why. In this final battle, it keeps saying go home, and Imoth is like, this isn't home. This isn't home. Shut up. So Imoth obviously has a feud and knows what this mech is. We then land the final killing blow to the mech, shattering the face. I got chills talking about it. It is revealed that the mech is another version of Rover. Literally another Rover. Another Rover. It's us. It's an evil Rover. It's a dark version of Rover. We defeat the thing, and then we find out, because after we want to know the truth. What the hell is going on, Imoth? You're hiding things from us. And then Imoth's like, I didn't want to tell you this. There's more than the fact that you basically raised me. There's more to it. Essentially, we wanted to go home. Past Rover. Rover in the past tense wanted to go home. He sent a message back to his homeland saying, I want to come home. I'm tired. I can't go on anymore. I'm exhausted. Our homeland, wherever that is. Bearing in mind, this is the same homeland where this unknown god, Lucia, this unknown god in the prologue, may be from. Yeah? Yeah? We get rejected. We get rejected. We get rejected from our home. Our home says, you're not coming home. That's not the mission. The mission is to complete what you're doing down there on Solaris 3. You are not coming home. You are not coming home. This is not your mission. And essentially, when this version of Rover left Lahai Roy, he found a way to try and go home. He found a way to do his best to go home, but he didn't. Now, Rover in the past tense must have died, perished, or something else, because the mech contains a portion of that version's of the alternate Rover, the past Rover's frequency, and manifested itself. The reason why our tacit mark and our resonance essence is getting drained, partially because of that, is because the mech has been draining it over time, and essentially he's been trying to make itself whole again so it can go home. It's sad. It wants its family. It wants to go home. Imoth was protecting us, her family, her father, I guess, in a sense. This whole theme is about family. It quite literally is about family and feeling lost and finding your home. We find out a lot more. A lot more happens in the story. Imoth, at the end, when all is well said and done and we think we've won, we find out everything. We now know we have to fix the Exostrider in order to beat Aleph 1. We now know Aleph 1 is coming to Solaris 3. We have closed the rift because there was a rift, a crack in space and time that essentially was allowing the Threnodian to leak through, which is why the influence of the Threnodian was taking over the Void Worm and the mech and other things as well. And we essentially have to seal that rift to stop Aleph 1 from trying its best to come into the Lahai Roy region. there's more that happens Imoth is able to see people, and people are able to see her again. And she gives one final performance to the Academy, makes a grand re-debut, and everyone's like, Imoth, 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 oh my god, where have you been all this time? Oh my god, where have you been all this time? People are happy to see her. And then she knocks us out. She does. She knocks us out. She makes us go unconscious when we talk to her. She flies within the gateway, within the crack in time and space. She flies in, and this area, this pocket universe, this realm that Aleph 1 is trying to get to, time and space is warped. Time and space is warped. So when Imoth's able to travel from the physical world to that world, because she hasn't got a physical form, therefore she won't perish and die, because she's already dead. Her physical form's already dead, so she can go in and out. And the reason why she was hiding the secret, and the reason why she didn't want Rover finding out the truth about his past self, is because when she was curious after she died, she flew into this realm and saw the past, the present, and the future all at once. All at once. So she knows a lot about Rover, and didn't want us to see the future and to know the future and know the past, because it was too dangerous. So Imoth told us a good amount, but still is holding back a lot. She flies into the void. She flies into the void. And because time and space is warped and it's happening all at once, Imoth, the Imoth that saved us at the start of 3.0, is the Imoth at the end of 3.1. Because at the start of 3.1, when we meet Imoth, she's like, I never saved you in this void universe. Like, well, I don't understand. No, that wasn't me. I didn't do that. It was her from the future. And I called it when playing through. I was like, I guarantee that was her from the future. Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey. It's time travel story. I love it. She saves us from the Threnodian, from the future. And then she sacrifices herself. She flies through time and space to sacrifice herself, to use the Exostrider that hasn't landed in Lahai Roy yet. An Exostrider that is currently doing its best to transport a Sentinel that we may or may not know yet to Lahai Roy. Aleph 1 has it, captures it, is devouring it. Imoth travels through space and time, reaches it, sacrifices herself to give the Exostrider full power to seal the gateway from that side, that side. We can't from the inside of the void, from this universe. The gate is sealed. She's trapped, presumably fighting for her life, fighting with the Exostrider, combating Aleph 1 to keep the gateway sealed to the physical realm. So for all intents and purposes, Imoth sacrificed herself and perishes. Now what happened was, there is an energy signature that is left behind by Imoth's sacrifice, and Imoth's physical body is restored. She's exactly where she left. Remember when she was in the training pod in her resonance showcase, and then her pod is empty? Her physical form appears again where she left off, in the pod. But it's just a fraction of who she is. She's a husk. She's a shell. She is essentially a body without a soul, because her soul, her essence, her frequency is still in the other world. It's in the void. It's trapped, unable to return when her physical body is left behind. Luke gives her a look over, makes sure there's no physical injuries. This version of Imoth, this body of Imoth, has the capabilities, the basic function to walk around, and just walk around, basically. A lifeless body, like a zombie, basically. She can walk around, she can pick up things, she can go to sleep, she can wake up, but there's no soul. There's no soul. And then when we meet her, we're trying to talk to her, we're trying to get through to her, and she just isn't responsive. She's like this. We're talking to her, she's like this. Empty husk. And then as we're getting emotional, as we're getting sad, and this is so emotional. I'm getting emotional now. We don't know what to do. Rover genuinely doesn't know what to do. But then, in that plea for help, his tactic mark flashes. And then, this is exactly what this body of Imoth does. Don't cry. Don't be sad. And does like a little boink on the nose action, which is what she used to do as a kid to Rover. And then just goes limp again. And it's showing you that Imoth is fighting for her life, trapped in the void, while her physical body remains, which means that she's still alive. But yeah, that is essentially the story. This story is essentially it's one of the most emotional stories I think I've witnessed in Wuthering Waves. It's one of the most incredible written stories in Wuthering Waves. Long at times. There's sometimes that I think it's about a 4-hour story. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour story on average. I'd say about 30 minutes of the story dragged on. 30 minutes of this story, 30 to 45 minutes of the story dragged on. The rest of it was perfect. Perfectly written, perfectly paced. It was amazing. Lore drops, everything. Incredible. I'm giving this story a solid 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10. It is near perfect. Near perfect. It has everything you want. Action, emotional conflict, weight. There's actual high stakes. This story was near enough perfect. It was amazing. And I can't wait to see where the story goes. Yeah, that's going to be my breakdown and review. I liked everything about this story, other than a few bits. Like I said, that was just talking bits. That was jargon. It didn't really need to be overly explained. We kind of could see what was going on. But yeah, amazing. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this review and enjoyed the story, give me a like, subscribe. 10,000 subscribers. 10,000 subscribers. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy and have a good rest of your day.